Inside Out 2 Explained. Riley Andersen, a 13-year-old hockey hopeful, enters this stretch with a sturdy life. Friends, family, hockey, and a growing sense of self inside her mind. Joy, the optimistic lead emotion, still runs headquarters with sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. But adolescence is arriving fast. Riley's best friends, Bree Young and Grace Shea, are central to her identity, while hockey camp and older player Valentina Ortiz suddenly make the future feel urgent.
We start with Riley Andersen, the 13-year-old hockey hopeful, in a great place. She wins a championship with Bree Young, her loyal best friend, and Grace Shea, her other loyal best friend, by choosing teamwork over glory, setting a clear baseline that anxiety later tries to replace with fear and status.
Right, and the mind-side setup matters just as much. Joy, the optimistic lead emotion, is treating Riley's memories like building blocks, shaping beliefs until they form this calm, generous sense of self.
Then Coach Roberts, a demanding high school coach, invites Riley, Bree, and Grace to a 3-day hockey camp. Riley imagines all three reaching the Firehawks together. After Riley worries about a penalty, Joy sends that bad memory away, establishing the avoidance tool anxiety later uses.
Exactly. That mechanism is loaded before anxiety arrives.
Then puberty hits headquarters. The rebuilt console turns small inputs into oversized reactions before camp even begins.
But the car ride breaks that fantasy. How could Riley not hear the school split as a threat?
That is the whole hinge.
Right, the console is shaky, and outside stakes change too.
At camp, Riley meets Valentina Ortiz, the admired Firehawks captain. And anxiety, the future-focused new emotion, appears at the console. Anxiety instantly treats Val as Riley's path to not being alone. So the future starts crowding out the friends beside her. Envy, embarrassment, and ennui each push Riley toward copying older players.
And the new emotions sharpen that social panic.
In the locker room, Riley gets pulled between old friends and older players. She lets a small, false impression about where she is from stand. Then Joy tries to keep things fun with Bree and Grace, while anxiety tracks every social risk.
Right, and Val is not the villain here.
Coach Roberts catches the girls goofing around and punishes the group with extra drills. Riley then overhears older players doubting whether she belongs, and anxiety finally has evidence for her worst-case thinking. Val's kindness cannot cancel that pressure, but the apology helps, so anxiety looks competent to everyone inside headquarters.
But anxiety's first fix works, which makes her takeover more dangerous.
So the key change is internal.
Exactly. When Riley must choose teams, Bree and Grace expect her, but Val waves her over. Riley's old sense of self resists that betrayal, so anxiety removes it rather than letting it guide her.
Anxiety sends the sense of self away and bottles joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. Then she starts growing a new Riley around one idea. If Riley becomes a Firehawk, she will have friends. That belief is conditional belonging, not friendship, and it makes every mistake feel like proof Riley will be alone.
The Vault of Secrets sequence is strange, but it has a clean function. Bloofy, Lance Slashblade, Pouchy, and the Deep Dark Secret help the original emotions escape, turning forgotten pieces of Riley into rescue tools.
Joy realizes they cannot just retake headquarters. They need the missing sense of self. So she sends sadness, the cautious, empathy-centered emotion, back through the recall tube while the others ride the stream of consciousness.
And sadness gets the quiet hero job, right? She is scared, but she knows the console manuals, and embarrassment later protects her instead of exposing her. That small mercy keeps the rescue possible.
Meanwhile, anxiety escalates. Riley practices early, copies Val's food choices, and keeps feeding the belief system with anxious memories. The new self is not evil, but it is conditional, brittle, and lonely.
But it costs Riley immediately. Around Val's group, she starts hiding her real tastes, and Bree and Grace notice. When sarcasm opens the sarcasm inside her mind, that split becomes literal and practical.
Joy finally cracks. She admits positivity is not solving everything, anger steadies her, and the group reaches imagination land, where anxiety has workers generating nightmare futures that keep Riley awake. Joy counters by adding possibilities that are not all doom.
Yes, and Joy manages to disrupt the projections long enough for Riley to sleep. But anxiety reaches for certainty again. The cliffhanger is the coach's notebook. Riley is being pushed toward crossing a line to know where she stands.
Exactly. The notebook choice immediately turns anxiety's vague worry into a crisis. Riley sneaks into Coach Roberts' office. Sadness tries to interrupt, and the evaluation tells anxiety that waiting is no longer tolerable before the scrimmage even starts. Certainty only makes her panic sharper.
Right, coach is evaluating players, but anxiety hears a future emergency.
Right, sadness nearly stops the damage.
But anxiety catches her, and that is a brutal little shift. The only emotion inside headquarters who can still tug Riley toward conscience gets suspended out of reach, while Ennui's phone pushes Riley forward.
Then the brainstorm hits, and the ideas are almost all shortcuts. Dominate the puck, posture harder, become the version of Riley that coach might want. Joy smashes what she can, but one big idea gets through, while anxiety keeps demanding more from everyone.
Exactly. It becomes image management, not growth.
So Riley dyes part of her hair red, matching Val and the Firehawks, and lets the old Michigan lie sit there. Val is still basically kind, even concerned about Riley's lack of sleep, but anxiety reads every approving signal as proof the performance works.
And Bree and Grace can see the performance before Riley can. They are not jealous villains. They are watching their friend become less recognizable. That makes the red hair small visually, but big emotionally.
So the key change is internal. Joy, anger, fear, and disgust find the old sense of self buried on a mountain of bad memories. And Joy sees how much pain she has been sending away.
Exactly. That discovery matters.
Yes, and right after that, the new sense of self activates without becoming confident. It tells Riley she is inadequate. Anxiety spins that as improvement fuel, but the belief is already poisoning the scrimmage and turning effort into proof of failure.
Right, and anxiety makes it worse.
She overhears Joy's recall plan and breaks the Riley protection system, which strands the rescue team just as Sadness is almost in position. What can Joy do now, when the safe route is gone and Riley is already skating under that self-doubting identity?
The answer is ugly but logical. Use the bad memories. Pouchy supplies the absurd means, anger helps, and Joy chooses to release the whole pile even though nobody knows what beliefs those memories might form.
On the ice, the consequences arrive fast. Riley ignores an open teammate, scores for herself, steals from Danny, and keeps chasing a third goal because anxiety has reduced belonging to one measurable result, the exact opposite of the championship teamwork that defined her earlier.
Exactly, and that is why Grace's injury lands so hard. Riley is not just having a bad game. Her attempt to protect the friendship future physically hurts one of the friends she already has.
The penalty box becomes the panic point. Riley's breathing tightens, the old penalty memory resurfaces, and Grace is hurt nearby. Riley is alone with consequences.
Yes, control is now the problem.
Joy gets back and enters that storm around anxiety. At first, the emotions pull off the anxiety-built self and restore the old one. But Riley still cannot calm down, because the old self was incomplete too. It is a patch, not a cure.
Right. Joy finally understands anxiety's best point. No emotion gets to select Riley's cleanest version and call that the whole person. Why would only the pleasant memories be allowed to build her?
So Joy removes the old self, and a fuller one forms from kindness, mistakes, fear, courage, selfishness, loyalty, and need, without turning any single trait into the whole verdict. That is what calms Riley enough to see Bree and Grace clearly.
And repair comes through accountability. Riley does not win them back with a goal or a joke. She admits she panicked about the school split and hurt them. Bree and Grace answer with the friendship signal they have always shared.
After that, Joy returns to the console, and the room finally breathes again.
Exactly. But anxiety is not exiled. She gets redirected toward what Riley can actually control, like studying and waiting.
The Firehawks list becomes less important than Riley knowing she is loved either way.
Riley can wait now. Anxiety stays, but no longer drives. The self-doubt has lost command.